Now joining us, the latest winner on PGA Tour Americas and a Canadian, Drew Nesbitt. Drew, congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much, Adam. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So take us through Sunday, because man, I'm sure it was just a wild day en route to getting the W.
Yeah, you know what? Nothing out of the ordinary, kind of leading up to my tee time. I had been in contention a couple times this season so far, but specifically last week. I was three back going into Sunday in Edmonton, and I kind of let that day slip away from me. I didn't play my strongest. So, leading up to my tee time on Sunday, it was really just about how am I going to really believe that I'm able to accomplish what I want to, and not so much about the result, more about how I go about my day. Winning competitive professional golf is a little bit different than people think it is. They think you can maybe just go out there and just be like, oh, I'm hitting it good, I'm going to aim at this pin and do that. It's actually a little bit more of a chess game where you got to be very strategic and very patient and let the win happen. At the end of the day, I was chasing, I was four behind. So, that when a leader has a 4-shot lead, it's basically in his hands. If he goes out there and posts a 5-6 under par round and you're four back, well, that's going to make it very difficult for you to win. So really what I tried to do is just control what I was in control of, which was my attitude, how I showed up, and then how I went in about my routine and game plan on Sunday, which I was able to execute very nicely. And then it ended up being a successful day.
Yeah, you played great during the final round, and then there's a playoff. What's it like for you to basically reset where you're just going one-on-one with another fellow Canadian, by the way, in a playoff?
Yeah, you know what? I think I played in a playoff before and I guess it was Latin at the time. Um, so I had a little bit of experience there. And then I've also had a little bit of experience trying to close out golf tournaments in the past. One when I won in Mexico, and then another was actually that playoff in Quito. So I had those two experiences that I drew on really, really prevalently, and those gave me some confidence like going into that playoff where now you've gone from where you're playing against the whole field to a very much a match play style, one-on-one, winner take all, sudden death. So anything can happen, and it just changes how you kind of strategically go about the hole you're playing, and when maybe about how hard you're going to hit a certain putt. For example, like I had to make about a 5 or 6 footer for par in the first playoff hole, which more than likely would have been to extend it because AJ had about 3 feet. So when you've got that kind of black and white, make it or you're probably losing in front of you, it makes the process very simple. So you're just eliminating any potential for wavery putts. It's just okay. This one's going in the back of the hole firm. Move on, and luckily I was able to make a few, and then ended up winning.
So, Drew, when I say to you, you're the first Canadian to win on PGA Tour Americas this season, how special is that?
It's really special. You know what? There's a lot of good players out here, a lot of really good Canadian players too. So to be the first one this year to win is a huge honor. I'm very proud of that, and I just hope to keep kind of pushing this really awesome trend of Canadian golf forward. I mean, we have so many good players now, and a lot of young kids. Golf Canada is doing a good job developing them, and it's just awesome to see. So yeah, I'm very honored and very proud, and hope to carry this forward with me for a few more years to come.
And what was it like, too, that playoff where it's not a playoff just against any other player, it's another Canadian, an AJ Ewart, to go one-on-one, toe-to-toe with a fellow Canadian in a playoff? We've seldom seen that in professional golf, period. And you got to do that against another Canadian. What was that like?
Yeah, cool. You know what? It's an interesting thing because we've obviously got friends and acquaintances out there, guys. You spend your time with, both on and off the golf course, and then but at the same time, it's an individual sport, and being from the same country, fellow countrymen, is awesome, and I root for all those guys every week just as much as I want to play well. But when it came down to it, it's when it's me versus another player, regardless of whether he's my best friend, an acquaintance, or somebody who I want to just really beat. At the end of the day, it's just you want to beat them. Period. The relationship and the familiarity with the other player doesn't necessarily change anything. It just means that's who you're playing against. And the goal is he wants to beat me and I want to beat him. Um, and we had a good little battle out there before I finally closed it out.
So you finish the trophy presentation, you get to lift the trophy, you do other media obligations, and then you get to look at your phone for the first time. What was it
Yeah.
like seeing messages from friends and family?
Oh, awesome. Yeah, really, really great. So I've actually, as of last fall, I took a teaching pro job at National Pines Golf Club in Barrie,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
which is owned by Purposeful Golf now. And that company has been really awesome. Um, the relationship I have with them, the owners, Chris Gale and Ryan Dewey, and then the director of golf, Mark Bullen, and the rest of our team has been awesome. They've been very grateful for me being able to provide them with a skill set that's not just strictly in teaching golf. It's more about how I can bring people together in a competitive environment, share with them my experiences, and then I'm also just more of an ambassador. So really cool. But yeah, it's awesome.
I can only imagine. Of course, with the victory comes some accolades, and now you're seventh in the Fortinet Cup standings. There's 1 week left in the PGA Tour Americas season. We all know top 10 gets Korn Ferry Tour status for 2026. So as we head into the final week, what's your mindset now?
Just keep the pedal down. Try not to worry about it. You know what? Um, I'm not going to get into the mathematics of it all and try to figure out who's going to have to. You know what? I think there's a scenario that would unfortunately put me out of the top 10, but I mean, there's also a lot of scenarios that keep me in the top 10. Um, you know what? So I'm not really thinking about it. If it's meant to be, regardless of how I play, it'll be. But at the end of the day, I do control a little bit of my destiny in the sense that if I can put a really strong week together and have a strong finish, then it will more than likely take care of what I'm hoping to do, which is be in the top 10 at the end of this week.
It's a great mindset to have. And, you've been a pro since you've been in 2014 and you've
Mm.
come a long way. And now you're so close to really taking that next step. I know you just won as we record some 24 hours ago, but have you had a chance to sit down and reflect and say, hey, I've come this far and just how proud of yourself that you are right now?
Yeah, just a lot last night in this, and just sitting there with my dad. After we finished up all the any obligations I had at the golf course and whatnot, we went and had a meal and just hung out at the hotel, and then before we got ready to go to bed. So it's definitely set in, but it's really interesting. I remember Scotty Scheffler spoke about this. People were commenting on both the pros and the cons of his statement when he says, it's weird, like it's a moment in life, and then all of a sudden after it's done, it's like, all right, well, in his case, he's like, gotta go change a diaper or whatever, right? So he's obviously has a family, and I'm not quite there yet, but it is an interesting thing to think about when it's something you work so hard for, it's something you want so badly, and it lasts a few moments, and all of a sudden it's history where it's, oh, that felt good, thank you, and everyone's congratulating you and whatnot, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, well, this week's this week. So it's an interesting thing to think about. As much as you're proud of it and as much as you are grateful of the accomplishment, there's always something else, there's always another event, there's always something more to play for, um, which is what makes sports so interesting. It's a never ending want and desire for success. It never seems like it's enough. So which is awesome. That's what creates such great athletes, and the guys who are able to control those desires and not let that, I don't know, comfort kind of creep in where it's like, I've had mine, I'm good. It's like, how badly do you want it? Can you keep it going? And it's really cool to see guys like, Tiger obviously doing what he did. And then now Scotty's kind of on a bit of a heater. So, you know, and then just kind of playing off of what guys have done in the past, Johnny Kiefer last year and Michael Brennan this year. So trying to just use those as not stepping stones, but as motivation, really, like, hey, these kids are amazing. They're playing great golf. And it's like, I want a piece of that pie too. So we'll see if I can close it out this week.
That's a really intelligent mindset to have. And speaking of trying to get to the next level, I understand that you just had some time actually with Adam Hadwin, who's
Mhm.
obviously on the PGA Tour and
Yeah.
is getting ready for a bunch of starts on the fall. What was that like with Hadwin, and what kind of interaction did you have?
Oh yeah, no, it was great. I just Adam and I have crossed paths a few times. So anytime if we're at the same event, well, no, we'll try to create a few minutes just to have a chat. He's a super nice guy. He's one of the best players to play in Canada, as a Canadian. So, nothing too crazy. We just had a conversation about some of the exemptions that categories on tour and things like that, and then how our tour progresses, and a couple random small things here and there. But yeah, no, I just wanted to wish him the best and hope that he plays well this fall. And he was congratulating me about my success last week and things to come. So it was great. Yeah, no, it was awesome.
Well, Drew, it's a life-changing victory for you on PGA Tour Americas, and it's a big week here going forward. In closing here, we have a tradition on Golf Talk Canada. We always speak with the winners on PGA Tour Americas after they get the job done. So what do you say, my man? You get another trophy this weekend, and you join me on the show again next week.
I would love that. Well, let's let the play take care of itself. And if that happens, then be looking forward to speaking to you again next week. But one thing at a time, good prep, good mindset, and we'll see what happens at the end of this week.
You've got a good head on your shoulders, man. Congratulations on the win. I hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We'll speak soon.